Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, all. For those that celebrated and or live in the States, welcome back from a long weekend. I hope that everyone had a safe and fun Labor Day. And, as I was thinking about, okay, what do we want to talk about today? Honestly, I thought to myself, what better than to have a conversation about our services and our packages? Now, I'll be honest with you that even for me, I'm constantly re-evaluating what is in alignment for me. And as you guys have probably seen and heard, I when I started my business, my why and my intention to launching my own coaching business was to have time and location freedom. I want to ensure that I have a, quite frankly, super, super duper, like just being real and honest with you guys. I want to make sure that I never have to turn on another wake up alarm again in my entire life. To be honest, okay? Now, some of you, I'm sure, are like, okay, Molly, that's kind of silly, but there is so much truth in that. For me in particular, time freedom is how I go about, or I should say, the lens in which I make a lot of decisions in my business about what I want to offer insofar as packages, how I work my work schedules, how do I define the boundaries around my services? How do I want to work in my business in addition to working on my business? And so in light of next week Tuesday's upcoming complimentary workshop called Launch and Market Your Group Program here on LinkedIn, I figured let's go ahead and dive into my own journey of how I started to realize that I think it's time, Molly, to start offering a group program. So let me just kind of give you a little bit of a reflection back on my journey. Now, I have been in business for almost 7 years now. And when I started my coaching business, I started out as a career and leadership coach. Now, I still do career leadership coaching, but I only save one spot on my client roster to do that. And then the remaining amount of individuals, or the roster spots, I should say, that I have on my list is for business coaching. So when I first started out and I was like, all right, career coach, here we go. I'm going to sit here and help, especially women who are looking to transition their careers into a completely new industry without having to start over. I did a lot of my coaching one-on-one. And I think that many of us do that, and I think that it makes sense for us to start out one-on-one. For me, starting out one-on-one helped me to streamline my process. Working one-on-one with my clients also helped me to see which of my exercises was the most effective. And quite frankly, one of the three reasons that I'm going to share today for you is that working one-on-one with people helped me to see what kind of repeatable results I was able to help my clients to achieve. So, first off, again, this live isn't to say that you shouldn't be working one on one with people. You have to tune into your intuition. This is the side of business strategy and business spirituality that I think is essential for how you build a business from a place of inspired action, from a place of intuitive alignment. And when you are able to do that, I mean, again, I don't know about you, but for me, I want to build my business from a place of enjoyment, from alignment, from excitement, and from energy abundance, right? So for me, when I was working one-on-one, again, there was a time and a place in my journey where one-on-one coaching services actually served me really well. I am still very much grateful for working one-on-one with my career clients. And sometimes I think at a point in my journey, I felt like I don't even know how I would take what I'm doing with my clients one on one to then mirror that in a group program, which then in reflection, right, in hindsight, because hindsight's always 2020, in hindsight, I realized that, wow, yeah, I had to be and I had to stay as a one-on-one coach. So there is so much value and benefit for offering one-on-one services that this is not the life for you today. If you're like, look, Molly, I love one-on-one and I'm gonna stay one-on-one, awesome. This live and next week Tuesday's workshop really is for my fellow coaches, career coaches, leadership coaches, executive coaches, mindset coaches, manifestation coaches, other fellow business coaches, productivity coaches, you name it. If you are a fellow coach and you're thinking about, look, I think I have this inkling that I want to start offering group programs. This workshop is going to really help you to figure out the structure of how you can take what you've been doing as a one-on-one coach and then literally scale that quickly and of course market and launch that here on LinkedIn. Okay, so back to my story. So I started out, as I said, doing one-on-one coaching. Now, one-on-one coaching was great for the first probably year or so that I was learning how to build my business. It allowed for me to really take a temp check from a creative perspective, from a spiritual perspective, and a strategic perspective to really think about how I wanted to build my business. And then here was the moment in which it really was the catalyst to my transition and my pivot. I got to a point where I started to, instead of enjoy my coaching sessions, I started to dread, and I started to really think about like, okay, mentally prepare yourself, Molly, to go into this coaching session. Mentally prepare yourself to reserve enough energy in order to show up the way that you want and the way that your client deserves to have your support. And that was my very first cue that, okay, this is not sustainable. Because here's the thing. When you think about pivoting into a group coaching program, that very much falls under the umbrella of scalability. From a business perspective, CEO to CEO, it's true, okay? Because you're one person. Now, unless you have a team of mini coaches under you where you can delegate and you are bringing on lots of people where you can still do one-on-one and then you can like delegate and parse out, if you will, all of the different clients that you're signing on. For me, my personal experience was I found it very demanding mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually to continue signing on one-on-one clients. I got to a point in my business where I was signing 10 to 15 new one-on-one clients per month, okay? So if you think about that, that is 10 to 15 hours. And that was, I usually do the way that I have my business scheduled is I do coaching sessions on week 2 and week 4. And then week 1 and week 3 are saved for working on my business and doing other kinds of important CEO tasks that I have to do, right? So if you think about it, anywhere between 10 to 15 hours, week 2 and week 3 or week 2 and week 4 was dedicated to coaching. Now that didn't include any VIP days, didn't include any critiques or anything else of the other that I was adding to the value of my one-on-one coaching. So as you can tell, like me just reflecting back and telling you this was a lot. I mean, that's like the reality of it. It was just a lot. So that was really my cue. That was the sign for me that, okay, I need to start seeing how I can scale without having to exhaust all of my time and my energy. And so when I started to do that and I made the decision, I was like, all right, how can I work with 10 to 15 people, but go from instead of 10 to 15 hours, week 2 and week 4, to now 1 hour, week 2 and week 4. That really intrigued me. Additionally, I'm somebody that when I think about me, I'm a coach that has coaches, okay? when I think about the programs that I'm attracted to, I am always usually called towards community based group coaching. Yes, it's great to work one on one with my business coaches. And what I have found was even working one on one with my coaches, I very much craved that sense of community. And so it was those kind of inklings. It was just kind of like pulling me. It was God in the universe that was dropping these spiritual downloads for me to really understand that, listen, if you continue with 10 to 15 one-on-one clients every month, you absolutely are going to burn yourself out. And this is not sustainable. And again, if you guys have ever heard me talk about business and why I'm a business coach, it is to help you to build a thriving, sustainable business. So when I talk about sustainability, that is you not running yourself ragged. And here I was, right? True, honest with myself was I was building my business from a place of exhaustion. It was not from a place of enjoyment, of time and location freedom. The location freedom, yes, but the time freedom, no way. I felt like I was giving so much to my clients, which I wanted to, and they deserved it, but at what cost, right? So, first, what I did was I decided, all right, I need to listen to my intuition. What is my body telling me? Is this what I want to do? Do I feel like it's in alignment for me? And then, as a career coach, what I did was I looked back at all of my one on one clients and I found the components of my coaching structure that I knew was effective, efficient, and repeatable. These are the three things, the key three components in which I used as a way to then devise my group program from my one on one coaching program. And it made it so much easier because I did not have to rethink things. Now, of course, there was some tweakage, right, that has to happen because you're going from working one-on-one with someone to a group setting, right? So for all of my fellow career coaches, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to do one-on-one coaching anymore, and I really want to take my coaching program and support job seekers in a way that is community-based, that is group-based, what I want for you to do is I want for you to start thinking about what are the exercises that absolutely can be done on a group setting, right? Now, I'm going to give you an example, okay? For example, resumes. Resumes, for the most part, you can start by doing resume revisions and resume elevation, brain fart, elevations in a group setting. But, and I should say and a lot of the times your clients in your career group program are going to have more customized questions to them. So how are you going to provide that customized support from a place that still honors your time and energy, and from a place where, again, you're not feeling exhausted, okay? So that's really what I did, was I looked at all of the different frameworks. I looked at all of the different exercises. And then from there, it was just pulling it over and building a group program that was still valuable, okay? That was still effective. Now, I'll be honest, okay? Super honest. I remember having a conversation with my business coach and I said, I really want to do this this career coaching group program, which at that time I called Claim Your Career. And I was really hesitant. And she said, well, what's stopping you? I said, I know this is what I want to do, but I'm afraid. I'm concerned. My fear is that if I take my one-on-one coaching and I turn it into group, that it's not going to be as effective, that my clients are going to feel like they're not being fully supported. And how do I navigate that? And, my business coach was fantastic. She was like, well, let's just pump the brakes right now. What you are saying is it seems like it's coming from a place of fear. And as you guys all know, anytime you're like, what if, that is fear that's speaking. And so she really helped me to think back on my own coaching journey as a student. And she said, well, did you ever feel like I wasn't supporting you in the group program that you signed up for? And I was like, no, absolutely not. And so she was like, I just want you to understand that, yes, when someone works with you one-on-one, that is high level luxury support, of course they're going to feel really supported. Of course, because they have you one on one, they're going to move faster through their job search. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be able to see progress, transformation, or results in your group program. You have to make sure that you are building and structuring this program from a place where it's going to be in service to them, that it is still going to be effective, that it's still going to be efficient. Okay. So I really had to stop myself there for a minute because I seriously was like, oh my gosh, I know I want to do this. I can't continue doing 10 to 15 hours every other week of coaching. I want to go down to 1 hour every other week, right, of coaching. But I was so hesitant. And I'm so glad that I navigated through that fear, because let me tell you, here's the one thing about me. If you work with me as a business coach, absolutely, you are going to be joining our Catalyst Group program, because that is where I feel most aligned. That's where I truly love it. I love it so much. I love my Catalyst program so much. A shout out to all of my Catalyst clients. And it is such a different way of working with people than if it is one-on-one, okay? So last thing that I'll say here is, one of the last thing that I've realized is that in addition to my time and energy exhaustion, which really helped me to see that I was ready to pivot from one-on-one to group, and the second thing was that I was able to put together a program that also had repeatable results, like when I was working with my clients one-on-one. The third thing, which was the most important thing to me, which I kind of talked about, but I want to make it very clear, really was that sense of desire of community. Now, if you are thinking about going from one-on-one coaching to now implementing a group coaching program, to me, the people that you are attracting, your ideal clients, are going to really prioritize that sense of community. And I think it's important for us to highlight that, because when you think about it, whether you're a career coach or a business coach, okay? As a career coach, I'm just speaking to you as a career coach. As a career coach, if you're thinking about launching a group program, I mean, how many times has your client told you, either on a sales call or while they're working with you, that it is so lonely to job search, right? Absolutely, 100%. The people that you are going to attract to your group program are the individuals that really crave and desire camaraderie, that desires community, and that desires that accountability from each other. That is how you foster a really strong community, going from one-on-one coaching to group coaching, okay? So these were really the top 3 things that, as I look back at it, when I launched my very first group program, which was almost 4 years ago, was the first time I launched my career coaching group program. And that was a beta test. So I did it for a month and it went really well. For 1 month, I signed 6 people. So I did really well with just launching that program because I wanted to test it out. And that's another point that I didn't write down on my notes that I think is important for us to talk about. If you are hesitant about whether or not you're going to enjoy going from one-on-one coaching to group coaching, I do recommend that you do a beta test, because I think that a beta coaching program helps you to really test out and see what you like and what you don't like and what you need to elevate and tweak a little bit, so that you can then grow that into your more formal program. So, and then I did another, as I said, I shared, called Claim Your Career Group Program. That one was highly successful as well. And so now I'm just like, I love group coaching. That is my preference. And I understand, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to have somebody who they can resonate with. And when you can have a community of people that are growing, learning, transforming together, it is so powerful. So with that being said, this is my journey of how I knew it was time to go from one-on-one coaching to offering a group program. If you are ready to roll, okay, and you're like, absolutely, this is for me, I know that group coaching is right around the corner for me, I am personally inviting each and every single one of you to join next week Tuesday's workshop, and I'll put the link in the comments below for you to register. It is a complimentary, no cost workshop. So come on in and let's go ahead and figure out how we can help you to go from one-on-one, or I should say, have one-on-one and group, or group, right? And or group, right? Whatever it is that makes sense for you. And of course, being a LinkedIn business coach, I'm going to give you all of the tips and tricks on how I'm able to launch and market and, of course, sell my group program specifically here on LinkedIn. So I'll see you next week, Tuesday. I think it's at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. But yes, I hope to see you there. Until then, I'll see you next week, Tuesday. All of my love. Bye.